silver is currently reaching new all-time highs. And today, I'm giving you 8 evidence-backed, bulletproof cases for why silver's price is likely to go higher with facts and real-world proof. Before we get into the data, I want you to imagine something incredibly simple but massively important. 2 countries, India and China, combined population about 3 billion people. Both cultures have thousands of years of deep tradition in buying and holding precious metals. Now imagine if every person in those countries decided to buy just 1 ounce of silver. That single behavioral shift would absorb every ounce of mined and recycled silver for 3 years straight. 3 entire years of global supply gone instantly. And imagine the tightness and the price shock that would create for the rest of the world. This highlights how vulnerable the silver supply chain really is, and it's not even that hard to imagine. For example, if you have 4 people in your family, it's easy to imagine purchasing just 4 ounces of silver so that every member in your family holds at least 1 ounce of the precious metal. More and more families are already starting to think that way, and you can see that reflected in the silver price as we break new all-time highs. Even owning 1 ounce per person in your household would put you and your family way ahead of most of the people around you. If you're watching this video, you're probably the type of person looking to purchase more than just 1 ounce per person in your household anyways. Just think about that. Remember, none of this is financial advice. I'm just a concerned husband and father living in New Westminster, trying to take care of my family, and I'm sharing with you exactly how I'm doing that. Part of taking care of yourself and your family is building and preserving your wealth. Let's get into this. Number 1. Silver supply cannot expand quickly. Here's an undisputable fact. It takes about 7 to 10 years on average to bring a new mine into production. Even after an exploration company discovers a rich silver deposit, it takes years. The real-world proof is that silver has been in deficit since 2019. Silver lease rates have spiked as institutions refuse to lend metal as cheaply as before. If supply was easy to expand, then that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't let it. This is why deficits persist and upward price momentum remains intact. 2. High-tech industrial, AI, and military demand is exploding. Substitution is nearly impossible. Here's an undisputable fact. Silver has the highest electrical and heat conductivity of any metal. That's what makes it so special. The real-world proof is that the US government has classified silver as a critical mineral due to its strategic properties being that special. Solar panel manufacturers are increasing silver content per panel to increase their energy collection efficiency. EVs are becoming increasingly popular and require increasing amounts of silver usage. The new solid-state batteries use way more silver than before. Technology and defense systems are increasingly dependent on silver as they demand the highest performance metals, and with wars ramping up, the demand must increase. 3. The market is experiencing severe physical tightness. An undisputable fact. When demand exceeds supply, then inventories must fall. It's got to come from somewhere. Real-world proof. Since 2019, it's estimated that above-ground stockpiles of silver have reduced by around 1.2 billion ounces. That's a lot of silver. The LBMA and COMEX inventories are stressed and trending downward. You can see on this chart of the free-floating silver at the LBMA is now less than the average daily trading volume. This means that as people demand more physical delivery of their silver, the LBMA can run out of inventory any day now. So it's not likely to happen that every single ounce that's being traded in the stock market is going to stand for physical delivery. This just means that the silver inventory has fallen low enough now where that's actually possible. This shows that the market is tight even at these new highs, and any metal sold by retail to replenish inventories will quickly be absorbed. 4. Silver is regaining monetary importance. Undisputable fact. Silver has been used as money longer than gold in most civilizations, for example, in ancient Egypt and China. Real-world proof. Central banks are purchasing silver. Banks globally are accepting silver as collateral. This reflects growing institutional recognition of silver's monetary and strategic value. So guys, The entire world is changing here, and now that physical supply is so low, then the big banks can't hold the price down any longer. 5. Retail demand is red hot. Undisputable fact. Retail investors buy precious metals during periods of monetary uncertainty. Real-world proof. There were lineups in Australia of people trying to buy gold as it was hitting all-time highs just back in October. Costco is also consistently selling out of silver and gold. So on Costco.ca, it looks like the only thing available is a 500-ounce pack of silver bars. All of the other reasonably sized products are sold out. This means that more and more of the general population is catching on to the idea of owning and holding real assets like gold and silver. 6. Silver is geologically scarce. Undisputable fact. The mining ratio of silver to gold is roughly 7-to-1. Real-world proof. Take a look at the mining data from Metals Focus and the Silver Institute. They show the global mining output, and we're just going to focus from 2016 to 2024. So I've taken data from both sources and calculated the real-world silver to gold mining ratios, and it averages at 7.25 ounces of silver to 1 ounce of gold. So get this, the gold to silver price ratio was as high as 107-to-1 back in April 2025, and is currently at about 70-to-1 today. Far above the mining reality. This mismatch signals long-term undervaluation, so silver still has room to outperform gold by 10 times in order to get back to the real mining ratio. 7. The monetary system is under strain. Undisputable fact. Silver historically rises during periods of negative real interest rates and high inflation. Real-world proof. Inflation is still persistent, and I don't think it's going to go away anytime soon. The government has built inflation into the design of the economy. It will never go to zero. The US debt is still growing at record rates. It was just last month in November that we had just crossed 38 trillion, and now we're almost halfway to 39 trillion. These macroeconomic conditions create ongoing upward pressure on silver prices regardless of any short-term fluctuations. Guys, the trend is up. 8. This silver cycle is stronger than any previous one. Undisputable fact. The world uses over 20 times more silver in electronics today than in the 1980s. Real-world proof. Silver is critical to billions of devices, systems, and infrastructures. You got smartphones, EVs, solar, cloud servers, AI data centers, 5G and 6G networks, robotics, aerospace systems, medical devices, autonomous systems, satellites, semiconductors. Modern life is fundamentally dependent on silver-intensive technology. So even as some retail holders sell at higher prices, it's the persistent annual deficits in the hundreds of millions of ounces each year means that their silver is immediately absorbed by industrial users, investors, and institutions who still need physical silver, and this is going to keep the price trajectory upward. Bottom line, now is not the time to sell. This is a historic, structurally backed silver bull market. So guys, please like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I've been obsessing over positioning my wealth to gain big while the silver market resets itself. I'm not just sharing my opinions, I'm sharing real data with you. Don't miss my next video. Thanks for watching.